The ultimate betrayal, my nuclear revenge backfired in the worst way possible. I never thought I'd be posting on r/nuclear revenge, but here I am. This is the story of how I went from a respected professor to a person consumed by vengeance, only to discover a truth that shattered my world. It's long and has a twist you won't see coming, so buckle up. For 20 years I was a tenured professor at a prestigious university. I had it all: cutting-edge research, a beautiful home, a loving spouse, and a teenage daughter. Life was good. Enter Jay, my star pupil and the child of R, the university's biggest donor. Jay was brilliant but arrogant. I mentored Jay for 3 years, including Jay in my groundbreaking research. Big mistake. During the final exam, I caught Jay cheating. Jay was using a smartwatch to access answers. When I confronted Jay, the response was cold and threatening. "You don't want to do this. Think about what it could mean for your career." I reported Jay anyway, naively believing the university would back me up. Instead, Jay claimed I had propositioned Jay for sexual favors in exchange for grades. It was a blatant lie, but the university seemed eager to believe it. Suddenly, I was under investigation. Colleagues avoided me, students whispered. My reputation was in tatters. My spouse couldn't handle the stress and left me. My child, bullied mercilessly at school, begged to live with their other parent. In 1 month, I lost my family, job, and life's work. But the worst was yet to come. A former colleague sent me a link to a recently published paper. The title, Novel Approaches to Synthesizing Anti-Cancer Compounds, a Breakthrough in Targeted Drug Delivery. Lead author, Jay. It wasn't just similar to my research, it was my research. Data, methodologies, even phrasing lifted directly from my work. They hadn't just ruined my career, they'd stolen my life's work. That's when something in me snapped. The mild-mannered professor was gone, replaced by a person with nothing left to lose and a burning desire for justice. I spent the next 2 years planning my revenge. I moved to a small apartment and took a job as a night janitor at a community college for lab access. I grew a beard and let myself go. No one would recognize the distinguished professor now. I used my knowledge to create undetectable compounds mimicking various illnesses. I hacked email accounts, tapped phone lines, and uncovered every secret of my targets. R was involved in tax evasion, insider trading, and bribery. Jay had cheated through their PhD and was already known for stealing others' work at their parents' company. I needed a way to get close to them. The solution? A high-end grocery delivery service catering to the wealthy. I applied using forged documents and was hired. Slowly, carefully, I began poisoning Jay and R. It started small, upset stomachs, rashes, fatigue. As months passed, symptoms worsened. Doctors were baffled. No one suspected the scruffy delivery person. While they struggled with declining health, I dismantled their lives piece by piece. Anonymous tips to the IRS about R's tax evasion. Leaked emails exposing R's affairs to their spouse and board. Fabricated evidence of Jay's continued academic fraud sent to their employers. Tampered medical test samples to make their illnesses appear more severe. Each move was calculated to chip away at their lives. I watched from afar as confusion turned to panic. As a year passed, R and Jay's empire crumbled. R's company was under federal investigation, assets frozen. Jay was fired, their fraudulent credentials exposed. Their health was failing mysteriously. The coup de grace? I anonymously submitted proof that my research had been stolen. The academic community erupted. There were calls for investigations, degree revocations, and criminal charges. I achieved my goal. The mighty had fallen, their reputation destroyed. But the cost had been high. As the dust settled, I found myself at a crossroads. The fire of revenge had burned out, leaving only ashes. I thought about my ex-spouse and child, wondering if they knew what I'd done. Part of me hoped they'd understand, but another part whispered they'd be horrified. I decided to disappear. Using my new skills, I created a new identity and left the country. I settled in a small coastal town where no one had heard of my past or the scandal. For a while, I thought it was over. I had won. But life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. It started with an email from an anonymous sender. The subject line read, "I know what you did." At first, I dismissed it as spam, but then came another, with details only someone involved could know. Then another, and another. Each message hinted at a bigger picture I was missing. The final email contained a video link. With trembling hands, I clicked it. The video showed my ex-spouse in a heated argument with R. The timestamp indicated it was from 6 years ago, long before the cheating incident with Jay. "You promised to take care of us if I helped you." My ex yelled. "Now you're backing out?" R's voice was calm but cold. "The deal was for you to feed us information about the professor's research. You've outlived your usefulness." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. My ex-spouse had been spying on me, feeding information to R and J? But why? The video continued, revealing a truth more painful than I could have imagined. My ex had been R's lover for years. They had married me on R's orders, to keep tabs on my research. My child wasn't even mine, they were R's. My whole life, my marriage, my family, had been a lie. The final blow came in the form of a newspaper article. It detailed the tragic deaths of R and J. The official cause? Complications from a rare genetic disorder that had suddenly manifested in both of them. But I knew the truth. I had killed them. I had orphaned my own child. As the reality of what I'd done sank in, I felt the world spin around me. The revenge I'd so carefully crafted had been built on a foundation of lies. I hadn't just destroyed the people who ruined my life, I'd unknowingly killed my child's real father and half-sibling. Now, as I sit in my beach house, watching the waves crash against the shore, I'm left with nothing but regret and unanswered questions. The person I was is truly gone, replaced by someone I don't recognize, a murderer, a fool who never saw the truth right in front of them. I don't know what to do now. Turn myself in? Try to contact my child and tell them the truth? Continue living this lie of a life I've created? All I know is that revenge is a poison that corrupts everything it touches. I thought I was serving justice, but in the end, I became the very thing I hated. TLDRA, my star student and their parent ruined my life and stole my research. I spent 2 years destroying their health, careers, and reputations, only to discover my ex-spouse had been working for them all along, and I'd unknowingly killed my child's real parent and half-sibling. Edit 1. Wow. This blew up overnight. Thanks for all the awards and comments. I'm still processing everything, so bear with me. Edit 2. To those asking if this is real, I wish it wasn't. I understand if you don't believe me. Sometimes I can hardly believe it myself. Edit 3. Many of you are suggesting I contact my child. I don't know if I can face them after what I've done. How do you tell someone you killed their real parent? Edit 4. For those recommending therapy, believe me, I know I need it. I'm looking into options that won't compromise my anonymity. Edit 5. To the person who figured out my real identity and threatened to expose me, please don't. I've already destroyed enough lives. Final edit. I never expected this post to get so much attention. Your comments have given me a lot to think about. I don't know what my next step will be, but I know I can't run from the truth anymore. Thank you for listening to my story. If there's one lesson in all of this, it's that revenge is never the answer. The cost is always higher than you think.